Let's take a quick look at the AEW Dark results. First up, we had Brandy Rhodes defeating Kenzie Page. Jurassic Express with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus defeated Ray Rosa and Eric Watts. Chaos Project Serpentico and Luther defeated Anthony Bowens and Lee Johnson. Will Hobbs gets the win, defeating Rysene. John Silver with this was kind of a big surprising thing, defeated QT Marshall. Figured QT would get that win, but John Silver with his first win as a singles competitor. Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman defeated Cesar Bonnet and David Ali. So this was also an interesting win as well. Griff, Garrison, and Pillman get their first win as a tag team. Is there something in the works with these guys? Big Swole defeated Skylar Moore. Matt Sydal, if you didn't see BTE being the elite and the whole Michael Nakazawa thing, I thought that this should be put on for regular broadcast, not dark, but Matt Sydal defeated Michael Nakazawa. That would have been a fun way to close that loop and that little storyline there with Matt Sydal falling off the ring during the last pay-per-view, falling off the turnbuckle. Eddie Kingston defeated Mbadu in a singles match. Angelico defeated Sean Dean. Good to see these guys get out there. Lucha Bros, Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix defeated Sonny Kiss and the bad boy Joey Janela, and that wraps up AEW Dark. A great night of TV on AEW Dynamite. First up, we had The Machine, Brian Cage versus Will Hobbs. Will Hobbs getting rocket shipped to getting the big push, but Brian Cage with the win. I gave this one a 3.25. Thought this was a pretty fun, good match. Two big guys going at it. Cage is good, and Will Hobbs is looking good. Then we had Jericho's pals. A lot of that wishing him the best throughout the whole show. We had FTR versus Hybrid 2. Really impressed with Angelico and Jack Evans in this match. This probably was my elite match of the night. FTR with the win. I gave that a 3.50. This was a good match. Two back-to-back good matches by FTR. I always feel like it's the guys that they're going up against, but maybe it is FTR. Not really sure, but that was a great match. And Hybrid 2, really, Jack Evans really impressed on this match. This set up for next week, we'll get Best Friends versus FTR in a match that set that up, which was kind of good. TNT Championship match, Mr. Brody Lee versus the American Nightmare Cody, and your winner and new TNT champion, Cody. This was a good match as well. I gave it a 3.5 as well. I'm not a big fan of the whole blood thing. It does nothing for me. I think it's kind of gross. I've talked about that before, but this was still a good match. 3.5, very close to the FTR match. These two were good matches. Again, I'm just not a whole thing with the blood thing, but lots of drama in this one, and a shocking win for Cody. I was really surprised that he would win that. We got an announcement of the 3 more competitors of the 8-man tournament with Wardlow, Cole Cabana, and of course Paige. Kenny Omega had a little check-in talking about what's going to happen with him and talking about Paige. He must have mentioned his name a bunch of times. MJF checks in, talking about how great Jericho is. Big Swole versus Serena Deeb. Serena, I'm so glad that she's with the roster. Winner, Big Swole. I gave this a 2.75. It was a little sloppy at times. I mean, these women need to get used to working with each other, but Serena Deeb is the real deal, and she performed really well. That's 2 good matches on Dynamite, and she's definitely an asset to the women's roster. It's definitely she definitely put on a good match. There was a little sloppiness in it, but overall it was still good compared to what we've seen in the past. Then finally we got the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho and Jake Hager versus the Chaos Effect, Luther and Serpentico. Winner, the Inner Circle. I gave this a 2.25. Luther looked awful. I don't know why he's on the roster. You could let him go. He was like shaky. It was like he hadn't wrestled before, but meanwhile he did wrestle in Dark last week. Just out of it. I mean, I don't know what the deal is with that guy. I don't know why he's on the roster. He looked terrible. Lots of botches, lots of missed spots throughout the whole match. That's kind of what I expected, but you could let him go. Serpentico should have been out there more, but they kind of put the spotlight on Luther, and I think he just blew it. Is it just me? Let me know what you think. But I think Luther looked awful in this match, and he should be cut pretty much. Then MJF comes out, offers a gift to Jericho, and then that wraps up AEW Dynamite. Next week's card for AEW Dynamite is going to be a big one. It's the 1-year anniversary show. First, we got Lance Archer versus Jon Moxley. Archer coming back from his little COVID issues. He seems to be good. He had a vignette on AEW Dynamite setting this thing up. TNT Championship match, Arn Cassidy against Cody Rhodes. I guess Cody's now putting this title on the line. I guess they had plans. Cody went away. They decided to put it on Brody for a little bit. Be interesting to see what happens with Brody. Now Cody has it back, and now he'll take on Orange Cassidy, which will be interesting. Tag Team Championship match, FTR versus Best Friends. Glad they're getting a title shot. FTR has been, the last 2 matches with FTR they've been good matches. Is it FTR? Is the guys they're going up against? We shall see. We'll also get a see Miro and Kip Sabian. They'll take on somebody to be determined. Glad to see Miro back. And it should be a very exciting anniversary show on Dynamite next week.